Okay, so now we've got the flash on, which I should have done from the start really. You can quite clearly see the two dials up here. So these are for your hot water and heating. So up here we've got Trumatic C. So this one on the right hand side here is the one that basically tells the boiler what to do or what you want it to do. So if I go down one here, you probably can't see it because of the light that's on, but there's a little green light in there. And essentially that's just the heating turning on its own. So heating only. If I go down 2, you get a little amber light come on there as well, and that's heating and hot water at the same time. So I know that it's heating because the heating is just that little flame symbol, and I know that it's hot water as well because the hot water symbol is that little squiggly line with a number on top. If I turn it off again, the boiler is completely off no matter what else. So if I'm back in the middle there, the boiler is off. If I go up 1 or up 2, I get 40 or 60 degrees of hot water only. So no heating, just hot water. Okay, so anytime you're up, that's what you would normally call your summer setting on the boiler, because in the summer you wouldn't want heating, but you would still want hot water. All right, so that's how you actually turn the boiler on and tell it what to do. So if I leave that on heating only for a minute, if I had, now looking at this side basically doesn't do anything else apart from tell the boiler what energy to use, whether that be gas or electric. Okay, so whatever you want the boiler to do is on this one, and how you want to do it, what energy you want it to use, is the left-hand one. So where it is now is gas only. So leaving this where it is, we've got heating only, on gas only. Okay. If I had the electric hookup plugged into the vehicle, I could, if I wanted to, go up to the top 1 or 2, and that switches it over to electric. But because I don't have the electric plugged in right now, it has to be there in the middle on gas. Again, if I had the electric hookup plugged in, I could go down 1 or 2, and that would be gas and electric at the same time. But for the time being, I've only got the gas, I don't have the electric hookup plugged in, and I only want the heating to be on. So that's why I've got heating only on gas. So I hope that makes sense. That's the Trumatic C system. Before doing that, if I just have a little check in here first to make sure I'm not looking in the wrong place. Before doing that, you really need to have a little look down here, wherever the boiler drain is. Okay, so just down there, the little blue topped, you see the little blue twisty cap there? That is your boiler drain. So if you wanted to drain the water out from the boiler for, you know, if you were going to be leaving it over the winter, you should drain it out. You need to reach down there and just basically turn that top dial. So turn it 90 degrees and all the water from inside the boiler will drop out. Once that's happened, you'll get another little blue thing will, you know, come out. So just at the front, I don't know if I can really point out, so just here at the front of that, you'll get a little blue tab pop out. So what you need to do to allow it to fill back up with water again, twist it back to where it is now and push the little blue cap in. That will then allow any water that you send to the boiler, by the way that I'm going to show you in a minute, to actually fill the boiler up rather than drain out onto the floor. Just whilst we're here, you've got your mains trip switches under here in the wardrobe. I'm going to turn the gas off the fridge. But basically, the way that you fill the boiler up is really nice and simple. You turn your pump switch on up there, and this is obviously assuming that you've got water in the tank. Come over to your tap here and just pull the water through. So literally just pulling the water through on the hot side at the moment. So a little bit of air coming through, completely normal. And just basically wait for that air to disperse. So just coming up to it now. Check the cold. There you go. So the water coming through the tap just there, on hot and cold, proves to me that the boiler is full of water. So now I can go up here and choose hot water if I want to, and I can know for a fact that that boiler is full of water and it's actually heating something up. If I turned the boiler switch on up there on hot water and I hadn't checked that that boiler was actually full or not, if I'm trying to heat the water up and there's nothing there, you're basically just trying to heat nothing up. And what will happen is that boiler will overheat. So it's almost in the same way as if you had a car that was running, you started up the engine, but there was no water in the radiator. The car's heating up, but there's nothing there to actually heat up to cool it, if that makes sense. So it works in the exact same way as that. It will overheat. If you turn it on and there's nothing in it, it'll overheat. So you need to do that. Make sure it's full before you do that, just by doing what I've shown you there. When you finish with the boiler, just turn this right hand dial back to the 0 here, and that is completely off. Right, I will show you in the cab just in a second, but when you finish with the vehicle as well, when you want to pack up and drive off, turn these switches off, all like that. So all of your lights here have all gone off now. All the lights back here are all off. So in the cab, you've got air conditioning working from this switch just down here. All of your heater dials are all here, so you've got the speed setting for the fan, temperature setting, and where you want the actual air to go to. Hazard lights from the middle there. You've got your fog light. The rear heated window will not do anything, obviously, because the original rear heated window isn't there anymore because it's a motorhome now. You've got electric adjusting mirrors, windows, reversing camera there works really well. Your OBD reader is just behind here, if you should ever need that. Just there behind that cap. I'll just put that back on before I forget. Your bonnet release lever is just down there. You've got the 5-speed gearbox, really nice, reliable 2.8 engine. Singled in stereo unit. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think that's about it really. There's not a huge amount else to show. What else is there? You can lift the bed up like this. Obviously you can lift that up so you can, it's out of the way. There is a little handle for that. So it means that when you've got the bed up like this, it means that you can walk all the way through here, and it gives you a little bit extra space there. Or you can put it down. If I was you, personally, I would prefer to drive with that down in the position where it is now. I understand that sort of the idea of it is that you can drive with it up so that you've got a bit more space. But I don't like the idea of it coming down on my head sort of thing. So, but that's up to you. It's totally up to you. Yeah, so before you drive off, make sure all your skylights are down, windows are shut, all that sort of stuff. Make sure that all of your things in your cupboards are nicely stowed away, because they will make a racket. Oh, oven. That's one thing I want to show you. It's in a bit of a weird place, but that's Naus and the German vehicles for you. So down here is the oven. It's a proper little oven / grill in there, and alongside that you've got your isolator taps. So they're all in their on position at the moment, so they're all allowing the gas to go down the pipe that they're going to. Any time that you see a gas isolator tap like that, please just ignore the signs here, because the problem is with these signs is that they show you them, but the sign can be any which way, so it kind of doesn't make any sense. So anyway, so this is where the gas comes from. This is where it comes from, the bottles, okay, from down here. When you get up here, when you get to coming up here and all that, it then, well, actually, hang on a minute. So, no, so that actually, I think the inlet one must be at the top. Anyway, wherever the gas goes to in the pipe, so these pipes here are going across this way to the appliances, you have to turn them off like this, turn the dial away from where the pipe is, and then you can turn it off like that.